What's up, degenerates? Welcome to a preview of the Scottish Open, and we have one of the sharpest golf pundits in the house, Conor Gartland, talk us through before we move on to next weekend. I thought a near miss with a big price selection last week. Just talk us through it, because we got a great sweat, although we didn't get the result. Nearly did it.
Yeah, great sweat is right. Played excellent golf. Friday, disappointed with the 3 over. After a great start, the 3 over was a bit disappointing. 7 under on the Saturday. Jeez, that got the heart sweating there. It was all panic then. It was the 3 holes in the back 9, just destroyed him on Sunday. He was, what was he, 1 off a place, getting the 11th place with Boyles. His game is definitely there. It was the right golf, the right type. Like, a look around Fox on the Sunday. I was expecting a round like that from Anton. I was expecting to go low. He just didn't seem to. His driving was awful on the Sunday. He was losing it left and right. His putting saved him, which he didn't on the Friday. He was missing short putts. But it was definitely, it was a sweat the week. It was sweating into Sunday. That's and at a big price like that, 60 to 1. It was an interesting one.
I tell you, I got great enjoyment out of it. Just as, like I said, I backed them with the 11 places. I just a shot off collecting a good wad of money. So, look, no doubt Anton Rosnier, or however you pronounce him, will be picking up a tournament soon. And I like the angle. It's great. Big value in your selections. That's what we like. Sometimes you just have to avoid, as you think, ahead of the market, and other times it can be but it's just finding the right guy at the right price, and just unlucky not to get the result last week in the Irish Open. Anyway, we move on. So, Conor, the Scottish Open, enlighten us. What are you thinking this weekend? Going to be, I suppose, a star-studded field, and some really big names at the head of the betting there.
Yeah, so this is the first time it's been a co-sanctioned event with the PGA Tour and DP World Tour. And Genesis have now sponsored, which they the big one, the Genesis Invitational over in the PGA Tour, which has attracted the big names, which you can see the likes here: Justin Thomas, Scottie Scheffler, 𝗵𝗲 here, Victor Hovland. So it's a very strong field. It's good prep for these guys before St Andrews next week. Again, I'd lean towards, at the Scottish Open last year, we had a big kind of a strong field, but 𝗵𝗲 won it. Thomas Stritchie was beaten in a playoff. Sometimes these guys it's a good prep for next week, I would say. It's a good course, leading up to St Andrews. It's a links course. It's going to be a scoreable course. It's just under 7,300 yards, par 71. You're going to be looking at birdies this week. Like, it was one last year, as I said, the playoffs. The last 3 years, the winning score has been 22, 11 and 18 under. So you'd be expecting to see a score probably similar to maybe around the 18 under this year. There is wind forecast throughout the week. A little bit of rain, I do reckon, tonight. But it's going to play very firm, very fast. The wind gusts are going to be getting Friday and Saturday up to around 20 kilometers an hour. So it's going to test the players. Definitely going to be a good lead up to next week. So I stick away again from the top of the market. I just think it's a little bit volatile there. You've guys coming over and they're playing on the Pro-Am there with McManus there Monday and Tuesday. So I'd be more leaning towards the golfers that maybe have skipped the Pro-Am and maybe played last week in the Irish Open or in the John Deere and going straight to Scotland and have practicing, which I know 𝗏𝗵𝗲 selections already practicing on the course this week. So I'm not going near the top board again.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It is a really busy time of the year for golf, to be fair, and especially with all the traveling around. So tell me, Conor, this weekend then, where are we going to go? Where is the value, or where do you see the live runner in the field?
Yeah, I kind of mid-pack, the 50 to 60 to 1, I think you're looking at again. So my first selection there is the Scotsman, Robert McIntyre, 66 to 1, 3 points each way, 8 places. I was impressed with him last week. After coming off 2 missed cuts, he had a 13th place. Now, what I was more happy to see is that his drive and his approaches he was gaining strokes on the green, on the field, but it was more so on the greens. He was ranked 6th in strokes gained putting, which McIntyre wouldn't be known to be a great putter. And, you know, if you're catching with a hot week, that's what I think you're looking at. And I know he played a practice round yesterday on the course. And, you know, he's a guy, he always says he likes being home in his own bed. He likes playing in Scotland. The pressure doesn't get to him. He likes playing in front of the home crowd. And he's a decent enough record. The last two Scottish Opens, he was 18th and 14th. And he didn't contend, but he was always thereabouts. He had a good challenge there on the weekend, and he'd get up the leaderboard. And it's a guy that you can see that's going to play firm and fast. He's not the longest driver on tour, but you don't need it this week. You know, if you can get it down the fairway, it's going to run. And a guy who's used to playing links golf, you know, to me, it's an excellent angle into it, where you look at the guys at the top leaderboard that are 11 and 12 to 1. Americans coming over, links maybe wouldn't be their first choice. So, and I think Robert McIntyre is strong fancy this week.
Yeah, definitely sounds really interesting. A nice price. And I watched him once or twice, all right. He had some good runs too. I've been keeping an eye on him. And tell me anything else lurking at maybe a bit of a bigger price or something even up towards the head of the market. Where's your next selection?
The next selection is bigger price. It's a 𝗀𝗵𝗲 𝗏𝗂𝗃 2 points each way, 80 to 1, 8 places. So the South African's coming off an excellent week last week in the John Deere. He finished second. And like that's coming off a string of kind of mid-placed. But what I liked about him was he was delighted. He got in the open field. That's second place, got him into Xander's next week. And he spoke after around, you know, his goal this year was to get into the Open. And now in his next aim is to get back into the top 50 in the world. He hasn't had a great season on the PGA Tour. He's kind of fell down the rankings. But he said now his next aim is to go and get into the top 50 to make sure he can qualify for the Masters next year. So he's played the Scottish Open. He's had it okay, 44th and 34th place at last two out of the last three. He's grown up in South Africa playing these kind of firm conditions. He has an okay links record. He's a guy that can get very streaky with the putter. And to me, last week, the John Deere, he got very streaky. And you want to be watching these guys that are a hot putter. You know, Ryan Fox for the last couple of weeks has just been a hot golfer, and you kind of follow these golfers. And, you know, 𝗀𝗏 has played well in the Admiral Dunhill Links before. He's played well in the Irish Opens. He's played well kind of at the Open. But at that kind of price, coming off, he got qualification for the Open. And as I said, his next aim is top 50 in the world, which is a big thing for these guys to be able to play in the Masters next year. So I can see, yeah, there's a bit of value there. The 80 to 1, I think, yeah, I think the kind of mid-range, the higher range is one you want to be looking at this week.
Yeah, definitely intriguing. I know one thing I like to be on the bigger prices myself, especially when they're in contention. Golf can be so cruel as well, though. How many times you're there with a golfer on a Sunday at a massive price and things can just go against you. But it's the thrill of the game. It's definitely very interesting. I just want to go back to the Irish Open for a minute, touch on a couple of points. What about Lowry making the cut? I thought that was, it was like it was meant to be or something. I don't know.
Like to birdie for the last four, you know, on a Friday. And the putt, but a 20-foot putt on the 18th was just like, it was magical stuff. Like the crowd were behind him. He just wants to be there the weekend. He wants to push and get through and just be there for fans. Because, like, in fairness, it was a sellout for the weekend. It was a sellout Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, the Irish golfers, they come out and support their own, you know, behind Power and Harrington and Lowry. And you could see it. He just was something in him. He just wants to get through, you know, and it's just excellent seeing, you know, the fans. And after the last kind of 2 years of COVID and having spectators, and it just shows, you know, the Irish fans come out and they love their golf. They just love it. They just love watching anyone. It doesn't matter if you're 200 in the world or you're top 10 in the world, you know, they cheer on for you no matter what. And it was a great weekend. It was great from Larry to get through. It's a great weekend in all, you know, the Sunday, the drama with going low, and you know, and 𝗵𝗲 getting his first win, you know, the first Polish winner on the DP World Tour, you know, the eagle there in the par 5 16 was just like, oh my God, he really wanted it. You know, he's been an early man the last few kind of times to be in contention. You're early thinking, can he get over the line? Does he have the, you know, that kind of thing, that just the edge to get you over that kind of finishing line? But he showed definitely on Sunday. My God, he was brilliant. He was excellent. And he's a guy now that's hopefully the first win now. You can see him maybe pushing on, and, you know, he might get one or two more the next kind of year. He's definitely one of these golfers, very good. He's very good in the Challenge Tour. he's taking the next big leap up.
Yeah, he's tough out because he didn't get off to the perfect start Sunday, and he was just kind of fighting to save pars and things, and then he you know, eventually in the end, you see, this is the thing about golf, and it's the most truest saying is you just have to be patient, and it just like around the golf, it's so funny. Like how many times do you think a golfer's going nowhere? He's going nowhere. Next thing he shoots 4 birdies in a row. You know, it's or 5 birdies in a row. It's unbelievable how the game goes. Sometimes you see when it's you know, it's not going your way for a player, and then if they can just get through that little kind of a, you know, of a damp spot, save par wherever they can. When the birdie run comes, they'll tend to shoot up the leaderboard. So it's definitely an intriguing sport for me. I'm enjoying it all the time. Conor, thanks a million for those selections. Let's bash them this week. I think no doubt that a big one's going to be landed in the coming weeks. So make sure, lads,
Fingers crossed.
Tune in every Tuesday to watch Conor selections, because you don't want to miss out when we come on and talk about the 100-to-1 winner or the 66-to-1 winner. We want you to be on. We want the Ковбеar sports community to be a part of it. Conor Gartland, well done, and thanks again for joining us at Ковбеar Sport.
Cheers.